All right, let's talk dating. If you've ever felt like it's a complete mystery, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're going to unlock the secret ingredient to relationships that actually last. And here's a hint, it's not about luck, it's not really about chemistry either. It's all about something called emotional intelligence, or EQ for short.
I mean, have you ever dated someone who just vanishes? Like when things start to get real, they're just gone. Poof. It's so frustrating, right? That whole ghosting thing, it's usually a sign of something much bigger going on. But what if you could start spotting not just the red flags, but the green ones? The signs that say, this one's a keeper.
So, what's the antidote to all that confusion? It's right here, emotional intelligence. And what is that really? It's just the ability to be mature about feelings, to be self-aware, and to treat people with respect. It's the big difference maker, the thing that separates a fling from a real solid partner. Okay, so how do you actually spot this stuff in the wild, right? Like on a date? Well, we're about to break down the 7 biggest signs of high EQ. Think of this as your field guide, a checklist for figuring out if someone has what it takes to build something that's going to last. All right, let's dive in. Sign number 1. This one seems so basic, but it's probably one of the most important things to look for. And I mean really listen. This is way more than just them being quiet while you're talking. Are they present? Making eye contact, asking follow-up questions? Do they remember little details you told them a week ago? Someone with high EQ isn't just waiting for their turn to talk. They're genuinely trying to get what it's like to be you.
Okay, on to number 2, and this one is a biggie. It's all about who owns the feelings.
Yeah, this is a game changer. A person with high EQ takes responsibility for their own feelings. They don't blame you or their boss or the traffic for their bad mood. They look inward and own it. And you can hear the difference, right? It's subtle, but so important. Someone with high EQ says, I felt hurt when that happened. That's an I statement. It opens up a conversation. But someone with low EQ says, you made me mad. See that? It's blame. It's an accusation. One builds a bridge, the other just builds a wall. All right, sign number 3, and this is the total opposite of ghosting. Yeah, they don't run away when things get tough. An emotionally mature person leans into the hard conversations. They get that ignoring a problem doesn't make it disappear. It just makes things way more confusing and breeds mistrust. And really, that's what it boils down to. They'd rather have a slightly awkward, uncomfortable conversation than just leave you hanging and confused. They care more about the relationship and your feelings than they do about avoiding a little discomfort. And that's how you build real trust. Okay, number 4. This is all about that tricky balance between us and me in a relationship. It comes down to respect. A keeper gets that you're still 2 separate people. They respect your boundaries and their own. They're not threatened by you having your own friends, your own hobbies, your own life. They know that needing a little space sometimes isn't a bad thing. It's not emotional distance. It's just healthy. All right, sign number 5. Let's talk about apologies. Because everyone messes up, right? But how someone says, I'm sorry, tells you everything about their character. Look, anyone can mumble, sorry, but a real apology, that's something else. A high EQ apology has layers. They actually acknowledge what they did wrong. They take responsibility, no excuses, no blaming you. And the biggest piece of the puzzle, they actually change their behavior. It shows they're interested in growing, not just getting off the hook. Okay, let's move on to number 6. This is a huge sign of emotional maturity. It's all about how they handle their own big, messy emotions. Because let's be real, everyone gets angry. Everyone gets sad or frustrated. That's not the issue. Having feelings is human. The difference is what they do with them. A high EQ partner knows how to manage those feelings instead of letting the feelings manage them. And the difference is night and day. A mature person might say, hey, I'm feeling really heated right now. I need to take 5 minutes before we talk. But a low EQ reaction, that's when you get the yelling or the silent treatment or the guilt trips. One is a thoughtful response. The other is a knee-jerk reaction. And that brings us to our final sign, number 7. And honestly, this one gets right to the heart of what a true partnership is all about. It's this. They're on your team. A real partner isn't competing with you. When you win, they feel like they win too. They're genuinely excited about your successes. Your accomplishments don't make them feel insecure. They make them proud.
Because in a real partnership, your happiness is their happiness. That's the goal, right?
So there you have it, the 7 big signs. And if you're listening and thinking, wow, my partner does that, that's amazing. But if not, don't worry, because here's the best part of this whole thing.
This stuff, emotional intelligence, it's not some magic power you're either born with or you're not. It's a skill, just like learning an instrument or a language. It's something anyone, and I mean anyone, can learn and get better at, including you. So what do you do with this information? Well, it's kind of a 3-step process. Step 1, you start paying attention and looking for these signs in other people. That's how you choose better. Step 2, and this is the most important one, you start practicing them yourself. So the next time you get angry, you take a breath before you speak. You try using I feel statements. You practice really listening to your friends. And when you do that, step 3 just happens. You start attracting and building the kind of amazing, healthy relationships you've always wanted.
So let's wrap this up with a question for you. Out of all 7 of these signs, which one just hit you the hardest? Which one are you going to start looking for or maybe working on yourself? Just think about it. Because knowing what to look for is the very first step to finding something and someone worth keeping.